So we are going to, I'm going to share screen so we can do a quick revision before we go into this new part. Yeah, new part of the journey. Yeah, so can we see? Can you see?
Yep.
Yeah, awesome. So you can see here the journey that we were exploring was who we are to have the result that we want. And so we, based on this theory here, that the seed, what seed it is, gives you what fruit we end up having through the conditions that we have in life. And that is, if we were to translate into our human journey, then the conditions and resources, that's people bring conditions and resources to us, yeah, or for us. And so the seed, if the fruit of life is the result we have, yeah, then what is the seed? And we say that is who we are. Who we are will give us the result that we are having right now. And so it's important that we know about ourselves, we know about this seed, that we identify the seed properly, that if we want a mango, that this is a mango seed, that if we want a sour apple, then this is a sour apple seed. So it depends on how much we know of the seed to identify what seed to sow. Yeah, what seed to sow. So here, who we are, so that we know that, okay, if we want this outcome, well, then we must make sure that we have the right seed to bring us to the fruit of our life that is based on the seed that we have. So it's very important to know that seed. And so we went through the journey of understanding the theories to help us on this journey, which we know, the 4 theories. And then we also explored the different directives of life that creates who we are. Yeah. So that creates, I'm going to overlap this a little bit, that creates who we are based on, because we come into this world, we're affected by the directives of life. And these are 3 directives. And in each one, we explored where life begins with each directive. And of course, because it's life, it's important to know them well. Yeah. And so we explored for each one where life begins. So we know that from the logic, science, understanding perspective, we have the formula of life's origin, and that's based on the picture in our mind. And we have from the faith and religion, which is the belief, the part of life where we just believe, then that we have the human structure to explain that part where we just believe. And that the core of the human structure is the blessings and the merits. Then we looked at, and all of these make up who we are unconsciously. Yeah, unconsciously. When we go into that belief, well, that's what we are operating from. And when we go into logic, well, that's what we are operating from, that structure. And so here, we just finished yesterday the triangle of reality, and that is based on our core concepts, and that is what we know, what we believe, and what we understand. Yeah, our core concepts. So that helps us to give that foundation of understanding basically us and life. Yeah, to give us that foundation. Now we're going into this really exploring who we are by turning on the light. So I'm going to go through this one, which I showed, I think in the last course, not this one, course 1, which we explore. Okay, so who we are is when we explore all of these here, will make us who we are. And this is when we explored about people, the conditions, the people. And so this, it's more like, my fingers just not giving me the, yeah. So here we are looking at this in a triangle. Yeah, people is up here, result is here, and who we are is here. We're still, so this journey is looking at who we are. Yeah, preparing or crafting the person that we need to be so that we can recognize in that moment, we need to put this seed in, or this seed in, or this seed in to get the result that we want. Yeah, to get the result that we want. And obviously we want to be happy, to have happiness and success. Then we need to recognize, what seed are we sowing here? So we're exploring this. We've now covered the 1, 2, 3, the 3 perspectives. We're now going to go into the house, the wisdom, the light. Yeah. So we turn these on. Now we have the lights to turn on. Well, you know, we would have turned them on. Yeah, we would have turned them on for us, for the cause condition and result. Okay, for the cause. So one more thing to just go through that really speaks to this is that, do you remember when we spoke about intangible and material? The intangibles turn material, and the material turning into intangibles. Now we know that we have the intangible, which is the intangible values here in that house. Yeah, through us it comes alive. That's our journey. Our journey is to bring this into material. It cannot come into material if it doesn't come through a material, which is us. It goes through a person to bring that alive, so that we can see, I can see the inner state, I can see the virtue, I can see the wisdom, I can see the personality through a material. So that is how we bring intangible into, turning the intangible into a material. And that in the end is to add value. Here, when we're talking about this journey, who we are, so we are one of those here, who we are a material. We bring in the intangible values, which is the house. So I'm going to draw the house here to make that, which is the intangible, to draw that, just so that we can have that visual. Yeah, so intangible, maybe I'll draw it here. That's our light, our house of light, yeah? W for wisdom, IN for inner state, personality, P for personality, V for virtue, C for capability, H for physicality, and M for material. So we bring all of these. So here's us, we're material. We go over here, collect these, and we turn that into an intangible. So now we are no longer just a person, but we are a person of virtue, of wisdom, of virtue, wisdom, with the right, with value. So we now become value. Value is an intangible. Yeah, so that I just want to bring that, so that we know, just so that we can bring that understanding of the journey. Yeah. So the journey is now we are really now going on this journey to turn on the light, to put that into, to understand it, so that we can materialize it. Yeah, through us we materialize it. Yeah, so that is the it's like a summary of half of our journey already. Now we are going into turn on the lights. Who's excited? Are you excited to turn on the lights now? Now we're saying, the darkness in our house, we're going to switch on the lights. Now we're going to turn on the lights. But can you see the importance of the referencing systems? Yeah, without the referencing systems, that's why we're like, oh, our house sometimes is dark, sometimes it's bright. We don't even know how to turn it on, because we haven't got the referencing system, the right referencing systems, so that we can know, okay, that we've got to turn on the light. We don't even know what they are, because it would make no sense to what we are learning. So now that we are learning this, it really relies on that core concepts from the referencing systems that is supportive for us to turn on these lights. Yeah. So that's why I consider this to be such an important like subject. I think our kids should all know. Yeah, they should all know, so that it gives them that foundation where they can turn on their own lights. Yeah, where when we start to teach them about wisdom, teach them about inner state, be calm. It makes no sense to be calm. How to be calm when we perceive life to be that way? So we need to perceive life to be a certain way for us to then be able to be calm, to turn on the lights. And that is our referencing systems. It helps us to do that. Yeah. So have I justified all the work that we've been doing so far, although they're not the lights? Yeah. Okay. So here we are on this journey. We need to turn it on. So looking at the lights, here we are on our journey to turn on the lights. The first light we must turn on is the wisdom. Yeah, the light of wisdom. So let's draw. I'd love for us to draw a visual. You know what? Let's draw it in here in the house. Have you got a house yet? Have you drawn your house somewhere? We'll go back to a house, maybe this one. I'm going to draw the lights. We're going to turn on this light here. And by physically doing this, it stimulates our mind. There we are. That is the light of wisdom. We're going to turn on this light of wisdom. Can you see it? Yeah, that room there will be filled with light. Yeah. And then corners, some corners may be dark. Yeah, at first. Some corners may be dark. When we turn on all the other lights, then there'll be no corners that are dark. So first, we turn on just the wisdom, the light of wisdom. Yikes. This is exciting. So today, okay, let's go to wisdom. Has anyone get started with wisdom? So we need to have an overall view of wisdom first, and then we're going to go into one specific. So let's write the word wisdom in the middle of our page. Yep, so the word wisdom. Yep. So now we apply, remember how we say everything, we can apply the triangle, and that's what we're going to do. Applying that triangle of reality. Yeah, everything we want to bring into reality so that we can have it. We can either touch it, or we can feel it, or we can recognize it. Yeah. So wisdom. We want to bring wisdom into life. We must know that wisdom. Okay, so reality triangle. The three corners we have information. What is the information of wisdom? And then at the energy corner, another corner is the energy. What is the energy of wisdom? Wouldn't you like to know? That's like, how important is that? Yeah, energy drives our life. Yeah. And so it's important to know what energy is wisdom. And then we have material. Yeah. So we have enough information. We have enough information. Energy will form. When energy is enough as well, then that becomes material, like anything. Yeah. So the information we have for wisdom, this is just to know. Yeah. Today is just to know. This triangle here, just for us to know, is so with wisdom, simply to understand wisdom really, really simply, is that it's just a state. It's a state of the inner awareness. That's what wisdom is. Yeah, I remember in the last course number 1, I said, what's wisdom? And we're like, okay, the picture of it is like an old man with hands behind his back. His beard is long and it's gray, white, looking like, well, he's calm. He's not in a rush. Seems to have all the answers.
It's like Confucius.
Like Confucius. Yeah. So, so that's the picture that we have. Well, now today we want to have it. So what does it actually mean? Yeah. What is that man representing? Yeah. So wisdom is that state of inner awareness. It's a state of an inner awareness. We sort of just know how we feel in that moment, that inner state of awareness. is wisdom. So the information is, we have the 5 levels. The 5 levels of the inner awareness. Yeah, it comes to that awareness. Yeah, comes down to that awareness. So what's energy then? The energy, once we go through it, you get to know it in depth, as in what it actually is, so that you can, materialize it. But here, just so that we know, the energy of it is, first of all, being at peace. That is the energy of wisdom. That's why you see that man, he's not in a rush. Yeah, they talk slowly, they walk slowly, they actually glow and fly, actually. Very light. Yeah, so you imagine that sort of that old man with a beard, he's flying, he's light, he's white. Yeah, and he doesn't have much around him. Just that, very simple as well. So he's at peace. Compassion is the energy. Yeah, compassion. He wouldn't have hate for anyone. Yeah, compassion. He looks happy. Yeah, that old man. I'm using that, that picture of a wise person that we've been I guess painted in literature through stories. Yeah. And then another energy of wisdom is what we call respectfully. So it's like gratitude. But this way here, when we call it like this, it's clearer. Is that respectfully grateful. Yeah, we are grateful in a very respectful way. Yeah, so it's gratitude. Yeah, I can write it here, gratitude. That's okay. We all know. Yeah. So now material. What does it look like? Well, we can write old man, old happy man, calm old happy man. Yeah, but what is it that he's portraying in that picture? Is life is very simple. So when we have wisdom, this is what we are experiencing. Life is very simple. Yeah, he doesn't wear all those jewelry or glistening, with jewelry or material. It's just very simple. But it doesn't mean that he's not wealthy. Yeah. So with simple and joyful. That we're beginning to have a picture of what wisdom looks like. Yeah, that it's simple and joyful. If life isn't simple, well, we're not really living in wisdom yet. We haven't got the enough energy for that to become material yet. Joyful. Life can be joyful. With wisdom, life is joyful. Yeah, is joyful. And trusting. If we still say, that's hard to believe, we don't know, it's hard to make decisions, yeah, then we're not yet having this material of wisdom. And then finally, if we feel light. So that, in an essence, in a nutshell, is what wisdom is about. But each one of it has so much to unpack. Yeah, has so much in there. And as we unpack them, our light turns on. Our light of that house, switches on. Okay, so today we're going to look at, so begin with the end in mind. We're going to look at the material of wisdom first. So we know, that's what it looks like. And if we're not there yet, it's okay. We're going to need information for energy to form, for us to have the material. So today, when I'm sharing with you, please do not say, but how do I do that? Yeah, my answer to you is, you have to collect enough information about the 5 levels so you know it well. You need to learn more, have more, like know more. When you know enough, you will be able to do this. If you can't do this, you can't have this yet. Yeah, but if we learn this without the picture of what wisdom looks like, it's sort of like we don't have the picture, you know, to create it, which is fine. We can go from here. But I just think if we have a picture, it's sort of like, okay, so through our life, like, okay, oh, as we are learning this, because it's going to take probably 3 or 4 days to go through wisdom, all of wisdom. And this time round, we will have time for personality. Yeah, it looks like we will have time for personality. So we'll go through. Yeah. So this is just to have a picture of what wisdom, to see what simple looks like, joyful, trusting, light. Yeah. Okay. Are you excited? Slide here. We have it being simple and joyful and trusting and light. There is a relationship between them. Yeah. If we want joy and lightness in life. Yeah, we can let go of simplicity. We don't mind it being complicated. We want joy. Yeah, we want joy and we want lightness. Well, according to the Zen masters, they say you can't have joy without simplicity. There cannot be joy without simplicity. So we want to know, what does it mean by this joy? Yeah, as in, I think they mean lasting joy. Yeah, not just moments of joy. Moments of joy is to have, and you can push and shove to have, but it doesn't last. This one is lasting joy. You cannot have lasting joy if you don't have simplicity. Yeah. And then life will not feel light. You can't have lightness without trust. So we'll say, oh, I don't have to trust. It's okay. Well, you don't have to trust, but without trust, we will do things and it will feel heavy. Yeah. So we want joy and lightness in life. We must have trust and simplicity. That's why 4 words. That's why they are the concept of wisdom. We need to know what they are so that we can now recognize that there is joy in our life. We need to have trust so that we can have lightness in our life. Yeah. But lightness is a concept of its own, and joy is also a concept of its own. So we want to make sure we understand those. And like I said last call, this light here turns on the light of my life, and from this light it helped me switch on the other lights. So without this light here, really, that's why it's the first one we must turn on. Yeah, so that it can help us to turn on the other lights. Master switch. Yeah, that's right, it is the master switch. But it's not the most important, it's not the only important, like the most important. All the others are too, like they help each other, but this one being the first one, when we turn on first, we can have others. So all the other lights for me, I'm still in the process of turning on the lights brighter. But my physical, the physicality light, the light of physicality, you can see that with just the wisdom, as I turn it on, my other lights also turn on, my other rooms also turn on, because I could swim now, run 21Ks like weekend. It's just it's a thing that we can do every weekend now, 21Ks. Running or jogging or walking, really. Yeah. And then swimming 7Ks. It's not something I could have ever dreamed of before. But as soon as I turn on these, it's like I have the lightness to be able to let go of the weight and just go. The weight that is weighed down by, by your, I guess, the meaning making that we have of life. So that one's another story to share, but I just want to say that with this light, the wisdom of light, the light of wisdom, once we turn it on, our other lights will also, it's like a house. Yeah, if all the lights are off, it's really dark. One light is on, the other rooms, even though the lights are not switched on yet, they're sort of like, there's some light in there. Yeah, there's some light in there. You can sort of fumble and mumble around like that. So okay, so I hope you have a picture like that, because it certainly did turn on the other aspects of my life too. Okay, so let's start with simplicity. Like, we just ignore these, just follow the flow chart. Life is simple this way. We have a desire, we want something. Yeah, we want something. Then we take action on it. If it's simple, it's like that. Yeah, we want something. You want a pay rise, we'll go and ask for it. Take action, go do something. And then you go there and they say no. You face a challenge. Yeah. No. Or whatever the challenge is. Yeah. And then simple would look like you go and handle it. Yeah, handle the challenge. You go back, you fix it up, you do whatever you need to do. Or you can't fix it. So now you go back to the challenge. Then you keep focused. Oh, I still want a pay rise. Then what you do is, here's what we normally do, which is not very helpful, is we go back to the focus and we go back to the desired outcome. We're like, I have to get a pay rise. Yeah. But that's where we get we bump into hurdles where we're like, but I asked before. And the boss says, but you asked before. We do the same thing, wanting a new outcome. Yeah. So here, simple would be, go back to your why you want that. Yeah. And you will then continue to go on that journey of acquiring what you need. That is very simple, but it's not simple. Why is it not? Are you with me? So that's what it looks like in terms of life. They're simple like that. You want something, you go for it. You hit a hurdle, you go back to why you want it. You keep that why, and you keep searching for what it is that you want. Yeah. And that's the life journey, really, like that. Okay. So then where does simplicity, basically how to have this simplicity, is you do what you say and you say what you do. Pay attention to the do and the say. Yeah. Sometimes it's not easy. Yeah. But here we pay attention to these do and say. So what experts have shown is, if we can make the complicated simple, then we are an expert. Yeah. I'll explain why this is important in a moment. And if we can make what's simple consistently, yeah. So what's simple to us, we do it consistently, then we are in the industry. So say in the industry of being a mother, who, shows love all the time, we're in the industry of showing love. Yeah. Or work is easy to understand. And we do what's consistent wholeheartedly. So we do that which we do wholeheartedly. But at first, we might not know. So say, for example, giving a hug to your child at first, say, for example, is like, oh, okay, it's a bit complicated. I don't know. Or saying sorry. Yeah, that one's a good one to say. Yeah, to use. Because saying sorry sometimes is difficult. Would you agree with me? Like sometimes not so easy to say sorry. Does anyone? Yes, sometimes it's very hard to say sorry. Yeah, my most recent experience with my sister wasn't easy. Yeah, because you have, meaning making that you don't want to. But first, if you can make that complicated, turn it into simple, yeah, then you now become the expert. And with that, once it becomes simple, then you can say, okay, I know how to say sorry when I recognize it. Yeah. And then you do it consistently. Now, I'm not saying this is not about, making a lot of mistakes and then keep saying sorry. It's not. But this one is being able to do that wholeheartedly. Yeah, wholeheartedly. I think this is to me, very, 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 it wakes up something. Yeah. We do that wholeheartedly, then we are the winner. Yeah, we are the winner. When things we can make simple. It starts with making it simple. So why is this important? Is often we would sit and say, yeah, but it's not simple. Yeah, but it's not simple. Yeah, we're stuck with that. But it's not simple. So how do you make it simple? Yeah, how do we make it simple? Do what you say and say what you do. So that repetition of, first of all, we just do the same thing. You imagine, yeah, you do that same thing over and over. Does it become simpler? Yeah. That's why it's this part here is in there. You do that thing that is hard at the beginning, make it simple by repeating that thing over and over. Yeah. Saying I love you. Yeah. Saying I love you. You say it all the time. You say at the beginning, it might be a bit hard, especially for some culture. Yeah. Some cultures that it might be difficult to say I love you, I love you, I love you to, to your loved ones, to your mum. I'm thinking for you men here, saying I love you to your children may not be so hard now with this, with our new way of seeing things, and we know how important it is for our kids to hear it. But saying I love you to our parents might not so be easy. Yeah. So at the beginning might be difficult. Yeah, might be a bit not so simple, but you practice it over and over and over. Another way to make it simpler, to make things simple in life, is to say that it is simple. It's strange like this. Yeah. And here we need to rely on, the structure of the formula. Change what you say, change what you, what is it? Monitor what you see and hear, change what you say, and change what you know. So when things used to be a little bit like a bit of effort for you, just say that it's simple. It's simple. Don't say it's easy because you won't believe in that. Yeah. But it can be simple because life is simple with wisdom. Why? Because you're at peace. Yeah, things will become very simple. When you're unattached, it will become very simple. So as we go through, you will know some more information, and it will make that saying actually make sense to you. Yeah. So the two things that you do to make life simple is do that thing that you want to do over and over. It'll be simple. And then say the thing, say that it is simple. Yeah. It's simple. It's simple. Yeah. Having, I don't know, creating that happiness or meeting that target, or, that financial target is simple. It's simple. Yeah. So that's about simplicity. Yeah. So having that, is that sort of becoming clearer to us now in terms of, simple, so that we can have that picture. Remember, today, that's our goal. Yeah. Our goal is to know, okay, when we say, okay, life is simple, that's what it means. Yeah. And if I'm not experiencing, okay, am I doing that thing that I'm saying enough? Or am I saying that it is simple? Or am I saying something else about it? Am I saying it's too hard, I don't know how to do it, it's never gonna come? Yeah, no. Yeah, it's simple. So that helps us to form that picture in our mind. That's why we need the 3 referencing systems, so that we can go back to it and we can see why it actually works. Okay. Joy. Yeah. So simplicity will allow you to have joy. Yeah. So what's joy then? How do you know you enjoy? Sometimes you already enjoy that you don't even know. It's like joy must be happy, laughing all the time. But I'm not laughing all the time, so I'm not enjoying. But what's joy then? Yeah. Well, no. Yeah. So let's look at joy. So joy, if you draw a line in the middle to divide the page up, you will have joy into. There are 2 ways of having joy. Yeah. One is having pleasure. So if you were here last, I switched it because the word pleasure makes more sense. And I moved satisfaction down here. It makes a lot more sense. So pleasure and at peace. Yeah. So let's look at how we have pleasure. So both of these give us joy. There are two ways of reaching joy. Just like simplicity, there are 2 ways of reaching simplicity. One is to do the thing. The other is to say that it's simple. Eventually you'll do it. Yeah. So we have pleasure and at peace. Let's look at pleasure. Often it's you have what you want. Yeah. We learned from the human structure that we have greed and ideation, which is what we want and what we make meaning of. Yeah. The ideation. We have the greed, and ideation of our ability, the money that we have, like money, ability, your value, basically. Yeah. And that's being satisfied. Yeah. So satisfying your greed and ideation of money, of beauty, of fame, of sleeping, of eating. Yeah. So you're very, very sleepy. And then your wife says, it's okay, babe, I'll wash the dishes for you. Go and take a nap. Yeah. I can see Bib's laughing. Yeah. It's good, right? It's like, yay, I get to go and have a nap now. It's satisfying that need. You're satisfying your greed, which is a want. Yeah. So the same, if you want it for someone else, you want it for someone else in terms of doing for someone, making someone feel special. And you do that, and they do feel special, then you feel good. You're satisfied. So to have pleasure, we satisfied our 5 needs. Yeah, the wants and ideation for the needs. So that means we have what we want, and we think we are having it. Yeah, we have an idea that we are having it. That's satisfied, and it's externally met. Yeah, it's externally met. That's why it doesn't last long. Are you with me? Yeah, you have your sleep, you wake up and you're grumpy because now you have a headache. Yeah, it's already, or it's satisfied, you're now wanting another thing. So that's why we're constantly working hard to feed ourselves of this satisfaction. And that gives us joy. There is one joy that we don't know, or we're not very familiar with. And that's, we're borrowing it from the Zen master. And we don't stay here too long. Yeah, we come over here what happens when we are not met, when our ideation is, this is not met. We are now dissatisfied. And so we're losing joy. That's when we don't have the simplicity. Yeah. And here is that side of, there is one where we can have joy as well. And it's very, very, it's a phenomenon that I thought, my Lord, only when we draw it out like this do you see how strange it is. Yeah. Here, when we have these, we have joy. But on this side, it's also greed and ideation. It's also those things. Yeah. All the greed and ideation of these here. Yeah, the greed and ideation of money, greed and ideation of beauty. But it's not about meeting them. It's not about satisfying them. It's actually the opposite. It's the, well, is it the opposite? No, not being satisfied, but it is being released, paused, let go of, or stopped. When we can stop the greed and ideation of those things. Over here, we have joy when we satisfy them. Over here, we stop them. And we can also have joy. It's called peace. And this is internally met when we come to our inner truth. So why is this one a longer lasting? Is because it's accessible within you. Everyone has it. And so we say, let's just borrow it, because if you go over here, then you're disconnected to the world. Yeah. If you're disconnected to these human traits, well, then you're no longer really living in that sort of humanness life. So when we are here, we will cut. Yeah, we will cut the greed and ideation, we'll cut relationship, all the things that make us, tied to other humans. So we will go over here to get that at peace, and we'll come back over here and then create them so that we can be satisfied. And that's joy. Now, trust. Okay, so we have trust. So we say trust is, what do we need? What do we, when we come to think about trust, we have, what is trust for? And what is it based? Look, gone a bit too fast. But let's look at trust. Trust, then we want to introduce this concept of time, yeah? This in terms of past, we have present, and then future. So we trust, would you agree with me that we trust is to make decisions and that for the future? Yeah, we do have the trust in the present, but we're not talking about trust in the present. I'm talking about trust as in we trust to make growth, to keep going. Yeah, for the future. Yes. But where does trust come from? In general, we're talking about regular trust. Yeah, regularly or generally, where does trust come from? Come from experiences that we've experienced, and then we sort of like draw whether, oh yeah, I can believe in them, we can trust in them. Remember at the very beginning, we talk about trust as in something that doesn't change. Like, oh yeah, I can trust because she says it and she does it. It's what it is. Every time they say it, it's like that. So there's that trust of not changing. So what trust is when we experience through over time. Yeah. And that's from the past. Would you agree with me? Yeah, it's from the past. So here it's based on the past. But we need the trust for the future. So now, based on our normal, regular human experience, what do we do when we think of the past? When you think of your past, do you think of all the happy times, or do you think of the negatives more?
Negative more.
Yeah, more than negative. What do you think, Tim? Is it the same with you? Were you going to say negative as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll
When we
admit that negative. Yeah.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, naturally, because there is a reason. I mean, there's an explanation for it. Is because we have this fear of survival. Yeah, we need to survive. We need to be, we always look for danger. Yeah, we look for prey, we look for food, but we look for danger more because our life, like we can be hungry, but we must be alive. Yeah, so it's based on that, it's primal. So we search for the negative. So when we look at the past, what we look at is the negatives. Yeah, that's what we focus on. But we need to trust to make the decision for the future. Are you with me? We want this. We want this for the future. But life goes on. Yeah, life has to move. And so that's why we have this really heaviness because it's like, but we still have to trust it. But what in the past is like this. But do you think that there are moments where there are like, things that we can be happy about of the same situation? But we don't focus on this. We focus on this. That's why trusting can be heavy. And so here we go. So we have trust. Yeah. So we have the past is like this. Yeah. And then we add trust to it. We trust that it's negative. Yeah. We add trust to it. Now we're like heavy. Yeah. Heavy. We're like this about trust. So that's the experience that we have. And that's naturally. Yeah. Normally it's like that. So now what do we do? How do we trust so that we can have lightness? If we can have trust, we can have lightness. So what we do here is we need to release the past. And we've learned this in the human structure, to release the past. Yeah, we release the past by, remember, but you will learn a little bit more about this. I'll share with you. So what we'll do is we release the past from this, yeah, into this, or at peace, usually at peace. Yeah, so we turn that into that through the key is let me check. I'm going to write it with this one. Acknowledgement, which we will go into the, acknowledgement and gratitude. So looking at things that is to be happy about or to be thankful for. Yeah, and that's often in the lesson as we learned from the human structure. So that one. And then now, if we can be at peace with what happened in the past, yeah, we can be at peace. So usually it's this one. I'm going to double face it. Double there. We can be at peace with it. Now we add in the trust. Add trust. This is important here. What to trust. Yeah. Add in what to trust. This is super, 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 super awesome. All right with red. All right with red. All right with red. Yeah. Okay. All right with red. Number one is we trust in people's ability to transform for the positive. Yeah. In people's ability to, I'm going to write, okay, transform or change. Transform, because the word transform carries positivity. Yeah. So that's number one. So we trust in people's ability to transform, not trust in their behavior of the past. Are you with me? We release the behavior of the past, yeah, through acknowledgement and gratitude. We release that so that we can get to be at peace. And now we add in trust, and that is trusting in people's ability to transform. And another one that we can trust in is the ability for knowledge to change people. Are you with me? That knowledge, we trust in the knowledge, that knowledge can change people. Are you with me? Is that phenomenal? Yeah. So people's ability to change. First, we need to believe in that. It's true, right? We learn, that's why, you know, we change all the time. And the knowledge can change people. The right knowledge will change people in the right way. The wrong knowledge will change people in the wrong way. Yeah. But knowledge can change people. We can trust in these two. Yeah. That is how I think for a lot of you in the community, you've seen me, yeah, release what I used to have with my kids. Yet releasing that because I believe in this. I trust in people's ability to change, and knowledge will change people. Yet knowledge changes me. So the past, that how I behaved, and now if I change, of course my environment will change. Yeah. So that's how we have released the past, add in this trust, not the old trust of their behavior, but the new trust in people's ability to change, and knowledge can change people. Now, guess what you will have? Naturally, what do you have? Yeah? Can you see how trust can take you to lightness? You will have lightness in life. Can you see why that first? Ta-da! Where is it? Yeah, but we haven't even explored lightness yet. But trust give you that. Yeah. And can you see how the concept of trust has to be different to the way we used to know it? Yeah. And also simplicity doesn't mean that it's easy. Sometimes we you know, we sort of mush those two into, oh, it's simple. Simple means easy. No. Simple just means that we can just keep going and we don't, you know, get so stuck with something. That's it. Yeah. So that's trust. Okay. Oh, okay. That's it. Like, sorry, one more thing with this. Like, this one is awesome. When we can do this, yeah, when we can trust in this, like that. I was getting there when I was talking about my sons, yeah, and people around me. When we trust in this, what happens is we will lift the level. The level of relationship. Yeah. We lift the level of relationship. What do I mean by this? Is in a moment, I'm going to draw this. We lift our relationship with people that we are dealing with when we trust them like that, and also with ourselves. That's important, because sometimes we base on our old experiences, our old behavior, and then we don't trust ourselves. We're like, I never could, you know, I say, but I don't do. Yeah, we're based on our past behaviors. Yeah, and we forget that we are people. So we have the ability to transform. We also can change with new knowledge. We are not ever the same as we were just a moment ago. We're different already. So if we can come to peace with our past, because it's true, in any moment we only can do what we know best, but we can come to peace with that, have compassion. That's what we need, is acknowledgement, and then have trust within ourselves, we live that relationship with people and with ourselves. And this is crucial to us building that personality that we're talking about in the light number 3. Light in the room number 3. Crucial. Yeah, crucial, because how we view ourselves will be how people view us. And how people view us will go back to how we view ourselves. And that's how we grow. But without this, it's like stagnant. It goes like this over and over. Lightness. Okay, lightness. Let's first explore our prized possessions. Yeah, when we talk about the human structure, we talk about how our past, like before now, whatever that we experienced before now gets banked into a subconscious place called the garden of the subconsciousness, or like being at the vault. He calls it the vault, which means, which I think is really good because it talks about energy. Yeah. So that place. So what is it that we can bring with us all the time? It's not nothing. Yeah. It's a lot. It's our possessions of the knowledge that we used to know, the conditions, which is the people that we used to meet, the results that we used to have before now, like just then. It now becomes your knowledge. Lightness, simplicity, trust, now is your past knowledge. Are you with me? We bank it into our subconscious or conscious. The things that I might have said or I might have done, or maybe things around here may already get banked in there. Like what you see that you are not consciously paying attention to, maybe the picture on the back of my, like that you see, but you're not consciously paying attention. It's also get banked. And at the same time, when I learned NLP, at the same time, there's like 2 million bits or something like that's going on around us, in our surroundings. We can only take, I've forgotten now how much, but I don't know, like, I don't know, so some thousand, and then get broken up into about 132 bits. But really, at the same time, we have 84,000 bits. Are you with me? 84,000 bits going around. You being there doesn't mean that you don't take it in. That's why as a child, our parents arguing all the time, we might grow up with some, or our parents are always laughing and loving each other and having a great time. We would grow up thinking, that's the way life is when we're married. Yeah, we'll have that thing, our view of it. And so we take it all in. And where does it go? When it's not conscious, because we can only conscious of 134. Yeah. So that thousands of the others, where does it go? It's part of your knowledge because you saw it. It's just not in your conscious. It goes into your subconscious. Yeah. That's why kids, they go to school, when we go to school, and I always say it to my son, and he doesn't believe me yet, which annoys me, because I say, as long as he's sat in the class, it doesn't matter that he doesn't know it to teach it back or can do his work. If he is in his Zen, the subconscious can come. It will come because you heard it. You were there in the class. The teacher did teach it. You just don't, for some reason at that moment, your mind goes somewhere else. Yeah. And you didn't take it in, but it went into your subconscious, because we have a subconscious that takes everything in. It's like hoard everything. It's a hoarder. So we already know everything we need to know, really. Are you with me? So anyway, so that's our possession. We take them, yeah. Conscious or subconscious, it's what we know, yeah. The people that we used to meet. Sometimes we just pass by a stranger on the street. We pay no attention and we don't think we know them. But we have. We do. We have seen them. Yeah. Okay. And it gets all banked in there. The ones that we have paid attention to and the ones we haven't. And the results that we have all banked into that. Okay, so why am I talking about that? Actually, I don't know why I talk about that. I think I was still talking about the subconscious world. Subconscious, which is from the human character. But we do have these, and these are what we take with us, yeah? And then we become, so when we have those, yeah, the things that we have, so now think about the things that you are conscious about, the things that you know. Okay, you know this assignment. You make this assignment. You wrote this wonderful, or like team, yeah, you designed this system or whatever. Yeah. And then you get attached to it. Someone copies it. How do you feel? Someone takes it and say it's mine, put their name on it, Bin Nguyen. Yeah. Instead of, now if you're attached to it, how would you feel? Annoyed.
Yeah, angry and annoyed. Yeah.
Yeah. Angry, annoyed, ripped. Yeah. Stolen
Yeah.
from. Very
Yeah.
angry.
Mm.
That's right. Or a relationship, yeah, that you have and you can't let go. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Or yeah, your kids, you know, your girl, your daughter will get married one day and leave the house, leave the nest, and like daddy isn't the most important anymore. Yeah. You get attached to that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you have to like work through. Like I seriously have with my sons. Yeah. When Jordan started to travel the world because, you know, at school and he started to travel into other countries, that was very hard for me. I couldn't cope with the fact that I won't know. Only I'm now based on what he shares with me. I'd be very attached. This attachment thing, yeah. And then there's non-attachment. So result is like what you have, and then people take from you. Yeah, that's like result. Knowledge from
Yeah.
you. Knowledge is people say that you know and you don't know anymore, for example. So this non-attachment, what do you think? Which side will be like one that gives you lightness?
The non-attachment.
Yeah. Obvious, yeah. Obvious. But how hard is it for you? But it's mine, right? We stick to this. But here's the thing, there's one thing we don't know, or we do know, but we don't pay attention to. That makes it hard for us to achieve this lightness is this. So yes, we are attached to it. It will be heavy. This will be light. Yes. So if you imagine, so just imagine so that we can have some picture. If you're lifting, yeah, your weights, you're at the gym, yeah. Tim goes to the gym later and he's carrying this thing. And you're like, it's heavy, heavy, heavy already. If you keep holding to that weight, what will happen?
It will just fall onto you.
Exactly, yeah. It will fall on you, it'll crush you. True?
Yeah.
It'll crush you. If you keep holding on to it, it'll crush you. But if you're strong, you put it down, yeah, for, I don't know, for a few 30 seconds. Yeah. What will happen after 30 seconds?
You can then lift it again.
Yeah. You can lift it back up again and do some more, I don't know, what bench or something. He calls it. Yeah. And then it's heavy. What do? You put it down again. Yeah. And you pick it up again and you can do some more. And by now you have done 10 more than you could if you were to hold on to it before.
Yeah.
True or not? Yeah. Okay. So that is if you were to hold on to this heavy thing, you won't go far. You have less and you have shorter. You have less. Yeah. And you go less. But if it's light, then you have more and you go further. Are you with me? That's where we don't want to accept. Are you with me? When we're stuck to, you know, but it's mine. But it's mine. Then you go home and you lose sleep over it. And but if you were to let it unattach that attachment, then you will go further because it's lighter. You can have more and you go further. That once it's flipped for us, it's very easy to have lightness, to let go. Because when we let go, we are strong. We're not weak. Because I think that's what happens when you let go means you're weak. You know, being sold for you, you're going to go and punch him up because that shows that you're strong. You're standing up for yourself. It's not letting go. But that letting go, that unattachment. So there are two sayings that is really, really, really important for this, for us to achieve that lightness, is you own it, but you don't. Yeah, to own it, but not to own it. Yeah, that means you have it, you want it, you need it, you really love it. Yeah, to have that attachment because that's human and that's, you know, it gives you that satisfaction. But if it's not there, well, then you don't. Own it, but not own it. Yeah, and then to do it as if you don't, as if you're not doing it. That's how you can have more. You can go further. Yeah, so go after our desires, but not to suffer without it. That's still very, but to not desire. Yeah, to have our desires, but not desired by it or not desire it. Yeah, that allows us to have that lightness. I think it's that part here. I think this part here is crucial. Always need to remember, when it's light, we go further. Yeah, not by having that thing back, because, you know, the world is abundant. Yeah, we go further, we have more. Not that one thing, that as if we don't have that thing and it's the end of the world, because that's when we live in scarcity. Yeah, so non-attachment is very, very important, not just for us to have lightness, but because of lightness, we go further. We can have more. Yeah, not so we have lightness because we are weak and we don't want life to be difficult. It's not true. It's we want lightness because we can have more and we can go further. That's why we can live. That's how we can live our best possible life. That's important. Like, that's important, so that we can have more, so that we can go further. We become non-attached. It's the weirdest. It's almost go against logic, doesn't it? It almost goes against logic, where I have to hang on to this. I must possess this for me to have more. But it's not. Letting go of that need for that desire, then you can have more and you can go further. Just like the weight. You put it down, you have a break. You're not holding it, but you have a break. That break gives you more. Yeah. How's that? Good, huh? Yeah. Okay, so that means we have now covered wisdom, what material of wisdom looks like. Simple, joyful, trusting, and light.